Welcome to a harsh reality broadcast on the 8th of October 2014. The title of this presentation is called Expect Wobbles in Markets as Fed Ends QE. Now in this headline it says Federal Reserve officials have finally specified an end date to quantitative easing, saying that they will rapidly cut off monetary injections from 35 billion a month to zero by October if all goes according to plan. And in this headline it says European shares rebound on dovish Fed minutes. European shares bounce back from the previous session's 2-month lows on Thursday on expectations that the US Federal Reserve will keep interest rates low for a longer period. We are living in interesting times. Since 2008, quantitative easing has been the norm in the US and to a certain extent in the UK. This seems to be coming to an end. It'll be interesting to see if it does actually happen, but if it does, it's going to be a major impact on the markets. I truly believe that once QE stops, the markets will start to fall, and possibly up to about 25% in its decline. There are still low interest rates, and I think they will have to rise. Reality is now going to happen. Unfortunately, we have been living this fairy tale life for far too long, and reality has to come sometime, and I think it's starting to happen. So what I think we will see in the next few months is volatility in the markets, because at this stage we don't really know the true direction that the Fed is going. They say they're going to taper, and if they do, then I do strongly believe that the markets will fall. Following the taper, I do think that interest rates will have to rise. Now once they rise, as far as I'm concerned, the party is over. Now for a long time, people that follow my channel, I don't see a Mad Max scenario. I just see a steady decline in our standard of living. And the reason for that is very, very simple. We have borrowed far too much money, both publicly and personally. So if you think about this, we are now operating a global financial system. Multinational corporations can actually get cheap labour from abroad. Now this will sort of equalise the standard of living throughout the globe. If you think about this, there's about 7 billion people on the planet. If you divide the resources equally, in Western economies we are still very, very rich. So there is an adjustment period. We are going to have a fall in our standard of living, and in other parts of the world they will have a rise in their standard of living, and that's just the way it's going to be. We have been protected in the past, but I don't think we're going to have this protection for much longer. It's sad in one respect, but it is the reality that's facing us. And if you think about this, when youngsters start their life now, they're starting out with debt, and quite a lot of debt. So I do think that the spending power will be greatly reduced. And if you have a look at my next slide, here we go. It says here, relax, we'll just raise the debt ceiling again. Well, have you noticed that the debt ceiling issue is not particularly prominent now? Back in January of this year, they actually decided to abandon the debt ceiling, and are just accepting that it's going to continue to rise. Well, remember, we do have to pay our debt back one day. So it's all very well saying relax, we'll just raise the debt ceiling, but you can only do it for so long. So in conclusion, all I'm going to say in this presentation is in the next few months I do think that the markets will start to fall. I don't think there'll be a crash as such, but I think there'll be just a steady decline, and possibly by up to 25% decline. With regards to gold, I think that might start to fall again, but there will become a time, I think, and I don't know how many years it's going to take, where we will return back to a gold standard, and that's when we'll get some financial discipline. I don't see that in the near future, so I suspect gold as a commodity will continue to fall and maybe below 1,000. I must admit, a couple of years ago I did think gold was going to rise, but then again I thought that we were going to have some financial discipline. That hasn't happened yet, but when we do get some financial discipline, and if the gold then becomes part of the currency, then I think we'll see gold prices rise, but not until then. Thank you for listening to the presentation, and I'll send out another one in the next week or so.